Helped her son pay off his gambling debts one last time, slamming $260,000 down on the floor. But as soon as he got the money, he went back into the casino until he lost it all. Once again, he lost his desire to live. To others, Mark is a brilliant college professor. He had a wealthy family. His grandfather was the 17th richest man in California, but it all seemed to have nothing to do with him. He thought he was going to inherit his grandfather's money, but his grandfather gave it all away to charity. He didn't leave him a penny, because he knew Mark was a gambler. He would have lost any amount of money he was left. He didn't inherit a huge amount of money. He said goodbye to the funeral early. He went to the casino instead. He changed his chips for $10,000. He came to the table and threw in all his chips. It was a lucky day. The chips soon became 80,000. Mark chose to keep throwing in all his chips, but luck didn't favor him again. The dealer offered a blackjack to clear the chips. Jack, a moneylender at the casino, noticing the big spending gambler, he came forward to chat but was rebuffed straight away by Mark, because Mark knew exactly what these people do to people who don't pay their debts. He then went to the casino owner's room. Before he could ask for money, he was called for a debt. It turned out that Mark still owed the place $240,000. He was told he had 1 week to pay it back. It's a long night for a gambler. As long as there's money to bet on, anything is possible. He ended up borrowing money from the mob and gave the casino $40,000 for 10,000 chips to come to the table. This time his luck was surprisingly good. The chips soon went from 10,000 to 160,000. Then he got up and left, but instead of returning the money, he went to the Russian roulette wheel, all in on black. All the punters gathered around, waiting for the result, but it turned out he'd lost it all again. Me some gambling money, interest at 20% as usual, until he left early the next morning. His debt was increased by another. The repayment was due in a week. Mark needed to pay off both the casino owner and the mob. He first approached his mother. Again, he was refused before he could even ask, because Mark was already a repeat offender. When he left, he dropped the phone of the mob's debt collector. After wandering the streets for a long time, he decided to ask the mob for more gambling money. They agreed to lend him the money, but on one condition. If you want to borrow money, you can say I'm not a man. Many gamblers have no principles or dignity when they are desperate, but Mark didn't give up his dignity just because he had borrowed money. The day of repayment was approaching. That day his mother came to Mark. She had received a threatening phone call from the mob. What would they do if the money wasn't paid back? Cut my limbs off and throw them into the street, and find my family. Mark's mother decided to help him one last time. Mark got the $260,000, only to walk into the casino once again. As expected, he lost it all again. He woke up. The mob got to Mark first, although he couldn't borrow any more money. But Jack had looked into him. Knew Mark had a student who played in the league. He wanted Mark to persuade the student to play a fake game, to offset the money he owed. Mark found the student, told him about the dummy game. He didn't persuade him to play a fake game. Instead, he asked him to make his own choice. The student then asked Mark, "Am I going to get you out of this mess?" "No." Then he borrowed $260,000 from Frank at the risk of having his family killed. Took a beating. Borrowed another $150,000 from his Korean boss. Put the $150,000 in the student's wardrobe. $60,000 paid back to Jack with interest. The remaining $200,000 bet on his student playing a fake game. If he was willing to play a fake match, $150,000 as a reward. If he doesn't play, it's all over. Even if he's killed later, the $150,000 will be the last good thing he does for himself. In the end, this student helped Mark by playing fake football. Now there is still a debt to Frank and the Korean owner. He took them both to a casino and took out all his cash to the roulette table. All on black. If he wins this time, he can pay off all his debts and live again. If he loses, he also brought a pistol with him. It's life again or the end of this shitty life. I'm playing for those two gentlemen. I'm not a gambler. It ends with him winning this time. Then he walked out of the casino. He paid off all the money he owed and the extra $100,000. That's when I knew he'd made it. He had achieved the greatest success a gambler can have. Quit gambling. A movie is a movie after all. Most of them have happy endings, but in reality, gamblers rarely have that kind of luck. And if they do, they They don't always dare to gamble on their lives. The final scene of Mark running from darkness to sunrise. It gave me a deeper appreciation of the film. Although his name is The Gambler. But Mark keeps emphasizing that he is not a gambler. Maybe there are no gamblers in this world, but only those who are always on the edge. I've been in the deep end. I was afraid to go there. I just wanted to get back what I'd lost. But I lost out to human greed, and it got me in deeper and deeper. If I want a chance to start again, the stakes would get higher and higher. If I win, I want to live the life I want to live. If I lose, I'll end this shitty life.